This is the drive home with TT for the Millwall drive home. Driving home from the Den where it finished. Millwall 2, Wigan Athletic 2. I think if I could sum that performance up in one word, it would be tired. Because, the players on the pitch, you could see that they're trying to play a bit more football. It's still work in progress. But ultimately, a couple of defensive errors, a lot of huffing and puffing from us, and a lot of huffing and puffing at the end because the players looked dead on their feet. And, it would have been ideal to play a team like Wigan after a few days' rest. Wigan looked the stronger side in terms of fitness, but they tired at the end as well. You could see that our players, obviously, they'd given everything on Saturday against Swansea in a tough away game. And they've come home today and it's just got the better of them. There's no other way of putting it. We started off with Bartosz Bieliakowski in goal. And, what I like, again, about Bart is the fact that he holds the ball so well. A few shots were pinged at him from distance. And he's done really well to just gather them up. And I know it's silly because as a football fan, you should expect your keeper to be able to hold on to the ball, but not many modern keepers do hold on to the ball. They try and punch it or they parry it away, but Bart's really good at actually holding the ball, and I've taken that out of today as a massive positive. However, for the first time in a long time, one of the goals is a weak goal. We're directly behind it. The second goal from Wigan was out to their left back, who's in a lot of space, and to be honest, the mistake is made by Marlon Romeo switching off. And both Wigan goals today have come from defensive errors, and that's the slight disappointment, and that'll be the disappointment from Gary Rowett. I'm sure when he talks about it afterwards, it'll be about the fact that we've not seen the game out defensively, because obviously Wigan score really early on in the match, but like I said, the second goal was drilled at Bart at the near post, but it's kind of gone through him. And I say drilled because he does kind of miss it, the left back, but it's gone through him. And it's the first one I can really remember, other than when he's tried to play football outside the box, he's given it away. It's the first one I really remember him making a mistake or not saving one I'd expect him to save. Maybe I've got higher standards of him. Absolutely nothing he could do for the first goal, which was a really well taken finish. But Murray Wallace switches off for the first one. So overall, I'd give Bart a 6. It would have been a 7, but for the mistake for the goal. We'll move now on to the back four. We had Marlon Romeo at right back, Murray Wallace left back, and Pearson dropped back to the bench. And we had Cooper and Hutchinson. And first 5-10 minutes, Wigan were lumping balls after balls. The best way of putting it is, and I said it at half time, was that watching Wigan reminded me of watching us for the last 3 years. Everything went up front, everything went direct to Kiefer Moore, who's a handful, a player that we've been linked with in the past. And he was having joy, he was having joy against Hutchinson. He wins the ball against Hutchinson for the first goal. And then Murray Wallace is standing as left back and just sits down basically and allows the right winger to get in front of him and put the ball in. Like I said, it was a really good finish for the first one. He's connected with it really sweetly, and again we're directly in line with it. And as it was coming over, he was thinking, if he hits this, we're in trouble, and he did it, and we were in trouble. It was a good goal from their point of view, but poor from us, from the fact that we should be able to see chances like that out. If Murray Wallace is switched up, again, it's early in the game, so you can be remiss of him for making that kind of error. But I thought Marlon, again, got caught out. Like I said, he got caught out for the second goal. Going forwards, last 20 minutes was one of the most obvious players that absolutely lost his energy. He was completely out on his feet. And it's hard to be critical of players when they're knackered, because that's them giving it all for the game against Swansea. And they tried, like I said, they tried really hard today. And as a Millwall fan, that is what I want. I think we lacked quality today when we needed it. And that no more than at right back and left back. I don't think they've done too much wrong other than that. Marlon's picked up a booking. He's had to take one for the team where the left winger for Wigan in the second half worked through on goal, but it was creating a dangerous attack. Overall, I think I'd give Marlon a 6. I'll give Murray Wallace a 6. And to be fair, Cooper and Hutchinson, they did get bullied in first 10 minutes, first 15 minutes. Second half, I thought they came right back into it and took over the game, dominated a little bit more than they had done. So for that reason, I'll give them both a 7. We move on to the midfield where we had 3 central midfielders. I'm not sure whether we played the 2, so 4-2-1-2-1. But we had 3 central midfielders on the pitch at the start with Thompson, Malumbe and Williams. And I thought Williams had a really decent first half and an abject and not a great second half, other than the fact that the ball for our second goal from Williams was absolutely superb. He gets to the byline and whips it in with his wand of a left foot onto Smith's head, although Smith's got a lot to do at that stage. But the ball from Williams was top quality and definitely well worth, a 7 alone for the ball. Like I said, first half I thought he was passing the ball forwards, a lot more direct, a lot more positive from Williams than we saw under Harris. Second half, he seemed to make the same silly errors that he's made, losing possession unnecessarily, playing balls into no one. And again, a lot of the players, with Williams, it's not as noticeable that he's tired in terms of physicality, because obviously he doesn't run that much and he doesn't seem to run at pace, and you're not going to really notice it from that point of view. But I think maybe mentally you could see that he was tired, and I've said tired a lot, and that there's a reason for that. We'll move on to Malumbe. I thought Malumbe overall had a decent game, a solid performance from him. Nothing stand out, but no real errors either. Again, a couple of misplaced passes that we had throughout the team, but I think he done his job in the team pretty well, and for that reason I'll give him a 7. We had Ben Thompson playing in behind Tom Bradshaw, and obviously Ben also then moved out to a left midfield position in the second half when Smith came on for Mahoney. But Thompson, another player that for 70 minutes did bits well. I thought he had a much better first half than he did second half, funny enough. Although putting him out to the left wing position, he is able to beat a player with his close control. I don't think he was as in the game as he was in the first half. I don't think it was Ben's best performance. I don't think it was his worst performance. I think it was pretty steady, but didn't really impact the game as much as he would probably have liked. But 2 games in 3 days after just having a baby is going to take a lot out of anybody. So fair play to him for playing both games. So I'll give Ben also a 7. And then we had Jed Wallace and Connor Mahoney playing right wing, left wing. Jed, for me, far better than Connor Mahoney, which won't come as a surprise, to be honest. But I was a little bit disappointed with Mahoney today. I don't think he really made much of an impact. There was one time where he's kind of breaking through and cuts back instead of taking on the man, which I think he would have done when he first joined. He's cut back and decided to try and play the ball back, and we lost it, and we lost the momentum. And I think that was pretty much symptomatic of his overall game, where he just doesn't seem confident at the moment. And confidence for a winger is everything. Confidence for any player is really important, but confidence for a winger is really important because you want them to run direct at players, and Connor's not really doing that at the moment. And that then spreads onto his delivery into the box is also not as good as it was when he first came into the team, because he's not getting in the positions to take those balls. So I'll give Connor Mahoney a 5, and you can't really argue with him being subbed. And the right midfield was Jed Wallace, and again, it was a lot of effort from Jed. He ran out of steam, probably one of the most obvious, because of how much he works. He moved into the centre of midfield right in the last 10 minutes because he was just dead on his feet. it was a game where he tries to get to the byline. The corner for the Hutchinson goal was excellent, and another really good delivery into the box. I think both teams today, the set piece delivery, other than Jed's in the last minute, the set piece delivery from both teams was absolutely superb. So many dangerous corners, so many dangerous free kicks into the box, and both teams looked like scoring nearly every corner, nearly every free kick, and that's part and parcel of the game. There's no point in turning your nose up it and saying, well, it's set pieces. Well, yeah, but set pieces win games, and got a few goals today from both sides. And Jed's balls into the box were absolutely superb. Other than, again, like I said, the last one, but he was absolutely didn't beat the near post because he was knackered. Overall, I'll give Jed a 7.5, and to be honest, I'm still going to make him my man of the match because I struggle. But we was talking with the family before I started talking on the drive home, and it's really difficult for me to pick a man of the match. You could argue Hutchinson, like I said, he came back into the game, he scored another goal. That's 2 goals in 2 home games, and obviously captained the side well. But for his overall effort and work rate, I'm giving it to Jed Wallace again, but not by much. And then like I said, Conor Mahoney, I've given a 5. We move up front to Tom Bradshaw, and it was a Lee Gregory-esque performance from Tom Bradshaw today. It was a lot of work, a lot of running into the channels, a lot of putting himself up against 2 big central defenders. Get it out. But he didn't really have any chances fall his way. But worked his nuts off for the team, and it's disappointing that again we got a lot of the time in the first half, and particularly from Thompson, we'd get to the byline, cut it back, but there was we didn't really look up. We left it a little bit to chance, and you'd hope that one of them would have looked up and looked for Bradshaw, and I have no doubt that he would have buried any chances that he did get, but he didn't get any chances. So for that reason, I'll give him a 7. 3 subs in the second half. Matt Smith comes on at half time and makes a really good impact. He didn't look like he was going to win many balls in the air. Won a lot more after he scored the goal, funny enough. But someone in the crowd sitting next to me made a great point, a great way of describing that Matt Smith looks like a man that is running with severe sciatica, and he does appear like that. His mobility, although he can get around, it does look so awkward. But what he can do is get above a defender and absolutely rifle a header into the top left-hand corner. And it was a superb goal. And what you take out of games like this today is we've gone behind twice, and we've come through that. We've shown that we can go behind. The heads didn't drop. We still believe in our game. And don't get me wrong, it was 2 real poor sides. Wigan are an awful side and will probably get relegated. I can't see how a team, and they'll point to the fact that, well, yeah, we played all right against you, but we were out on our feet. That was not a good reflection of our side. But I thought Wigan were awful in terms of positional play. They tried to kill the game, which the ref allowed them to do. Whitehouse, I think his name was, but very poor ref. Didn't speed them up at any stage, allowed their histrionics, allowed the time, and obviously they're a team that I think they've got 1 win in 30. They're going to try and do everything they possibly can to kill the game, and they did it effectively, and no more than by scoring 2 goals. But Smith, like I said, came on, headed the ball into the top left-hand corner, and for that reason he probably another player that pushed for the man of the match, even though he only played half. But I'll give him a 7. Aidan O'Brien came on, didn't really get much of the ball, and Scalak, I think, had 20 minutes and played left midfield after Thompson came off. Again, Scalak didn't really get on the ball. It was you want either one of those players to come on and take the game by the scruff of the neck, and they couldn't really do that, given the fact that they both had the fresh legs and haven't really had too many minutes under their belt for a long period of time. So I'm not going to rate them. It's not fair to rate them. Overall, if you'd have Swansea away, Wigan at home, you'd have wanted 4 points. Well, you'd want 6 points, but you'd have taken 4 points, and it's disappointing never to beat a team, considering who we have beaten at home. You know, we've beaten Leeds, we've beaten Preston, we've beaten good sides in the division, and it's a typical Millwall performance. You know, Wigan's a bogey side of ours. It's a Tuesday night game. There's not many fans there. Although I do think that, you know, the fans tried to get behind the team. Obviously, Wigan bought 2 taxis down, but it's a long way to come. You don't expect them to bring many on a Tuesday night. They don't bring many if it's a Saturday and it's the playoffs. So never mind a Tuesday night game in the heart of winter. We've got obviously away at Birmingham on Saturday. You know, we're going up there. It should be, I think this will be a really good measure to see what the Rowett revolution really is. You know, it will be I don't think you can judge it on today. Like I said, hopefully the day's rest, you know, we'll probably need some fresh legs. Maybe bringing in, you know, players like Budvarsson, and Billy Mitchell wasn't in the squad today, but, you know, I've spoken about him a few times, but maybe just to get some fresh legs in there in the centre of the park. Overall, I'm not too disappointed, and we go again on Saturday away at Birmingham. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you don't mind. No one likes us. We don't care.